हरे कृष्ण ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। हरे कृष्ण. So we are discussing Prithu Maharaj's meeting with the four Kumaras. So there was glorification about the Kumaras, how they seeing the glowing effulgence of four Kumaras, the masters of all mystic powers, the king and his associates could recognize them as they descended from the sky. So Lord arranges certain situations in life to help us come closer to Him, to remember Him, and to test us. So when Kunti Maharani is saying, "Vipada santata shasva tatra tatra jagat guru bhavato darshanam yasyad apunar bhava darshanam," he is telling that you are giving me calamities, but they are my wealth, and you are Jagat Guru. Why calamities are wealth? Because I am able to remember you, and because you are a teacher, you teach us. So he is Jagat Guru. He is always teaching us to become a right person and to come closer to him. So what is the main problem for us is that we are forgetful of Krishna. Bhayam dityad abhiniveshatasya. Ishadapetasya viparyosmiti. So it's a very painful thing for a living entity to be separated from Krishna, but still we are separated because of forgetfulness. And now Krishna arranges situations in life so that we'll be able to remember him again and again. And if somebody, so that we will be, because the core, it's actually the root cause is that fear. And that is actually the motivation of all our activities. And the external fear is also the manifestation of that internal fear. That fear is because of separation from Krishna. So now again we are given that opportunity when we go through certain situations in life. If we are pious, Krishna is telling that Chaturvida Bhajantemu Jana Sukrtinojana, who are Sukruti, they are pious people, they will be able to remember Krishna. So that is the method that is given. So we will be able to remember Krishna and all the things. Lord is very merciful, very kind, He is so loving, and He wants to teach us so that we remember Him and be free from all this suffering once for all. But unfortunately, people become agnostic, they become rebellious, they become angry, they become envious of Lord, they are complaining about the Lord, why did Lord do it? Lord has a purpose. He wants to make us come out of this whatever conditioning we are. So that is the main purpose He is having. So here we see that Lord is arranging, like Pruthumara spoke about Brahmanas serving Vaishnavas and all, and then he is also getting association of such exalted Brahmanas. One is a theoretical knowledge, one is realized knowledge. Like for Kumaras, they have great realizations. That's why to hear from them is a right thing, and which helps Prithu Maharaj also. Of course, his Shaktavisavara, in general, it helps anybody when we hear. So his instructions, okay, Prithu Maharaj might have met some other people, he might have got some other association, but Sukadeva Goswami wanted to give this section to help us. Prithu Maharaj might have met other personalities also, right? But Sukadeva Goswami is not writing about their meeting. He is writing his meeting with Kumaras because he felt this conversation is helpful to us. When he is talking to Parikshit Maharaj, he felt Parikshit Maharaj need to know this conversation. And future whoever is hearing Bhagavatam, they also get benefited. Because the realization of Kumaras is very a great realization. And when we hear from them, it is good for us. It is theoretically we know Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, but we don't have that realization. It's a very great realization to see everything in relation to the Lord, seeing Paramatma in everybody's heart, or seeing that the Lord is conscious everywhere. This is a very great realization. It's not possible for anybody and everybody to get this realization. Some people may Because of some sukriti they may get even without much practice. Of course, they might have practiced last life, they get realization. But we don't have that realization. It's not so easy thing. We should not, that's why minimize somebody's Brahman realization. Even some great yogis and sages, if they have performed great austerities and all, we should appreciate. Even what to speak of, even demigods also, they are very, very exalted. Their position is very high. They have great realization. They have taken darshan of Lord many times. That means how much we should appreciate. They are getting darshan of Lord. Whom Lord will give darshan? We are not getting darshan of Lord. They are getting darshan of Lord. That means they are exalted. So we should not compare like that. We should know that their position is very high. Of course, they are not doing something directly pure devotion, but they are very great devotees. Like say, if Prime Minister of India is there, it's a very exalted person, and some new bhakta in the temple is there who is want to practice pure devotional service. We appreciate that new bhakta who want to practice pure devotional service, but we should also know that the Prime Minister of the country, he is also very learned, exalted personality. That's why he's in that position. Krishna is giving him that responsibility. So we respect them. So similarly, demigods, they're very great personalities. They get darshan of Lord directly every time. We should appreciate, not criticize or minimize them. And people who are demigod worshippers, we should not look down on them. We should not insult. Rupa Goswami tells in Bhakti-rasam. The point what I am telling is the jnanis when they are coming also they are very exalted people. Prabhupada said we should hold our hands and we can respect them. So here Kumaras, their instructions are given here. That so and it is to help us to understand what is the greatness of this their instructions. So seeing Kumaras, Pruthumaras very anxious to receive. So and when the great sages accepted the reception according to the instructions of Shastra and finally took their seats offered by the king, influenced by the glories of the sages, immediately bowed down. Thus he worshipped the four Kumaras. And then he says that after this, the king took the water which has washed the lotus feet of Kumaras and sprinkled it over his hair. By such respectful action, the king, as an exemplary personality, showed how to receive a spiritually advanced personality. And he says that the four great sages were elder to Lord Shiva also, and they were seated on a golden throne. They appeared just like fire blazing on an altar. Maharaj Prithu, out of his great gentleness and respect for them, began to speak with great restraint as follows. So here we see that he is eager to take their association. So this is how we receive, shows how much eager we are to hear from them. And it says, Prithu Vacha, Aho Achiratam किं मे मङ्गलं मङ्गलायन यस्य वो दर्शनं हि आसीत् दुर्दर्शानां च योगिभिः. This says, my dear great sages, auspiciousness personified. It is very difficult for even the mystic yogis to see you. Indeed, you are very rarely seen. I do not know what kind of pious activities I have performed for you to grace me by appearing before me without difficulty. So these great personalities, they don't come to earth in Kali Yuga because nobody is qualified to see them and associate with them. If four Kumaras come and says they want to give Bhagavatam class, there should be audience also, to of that quality to understand what they are speaking, understand that realization. So the speaker will be able to speak only if he is a qualified audience. So Parikshit Maharaj was so qualified. That's why Sukadeva Goswami started speaking Bhagavatam. So now for our temple morning Bhagavatam class, four Kumaras cannot come. They need a very exalted personality to hear also. So, and very nice point Prabhupada says that when something uncommon happens in one's progressive spiritual life, it should be understood to be incurred by ajnata sukriti or pious activities beyond one's knowledge. To see personally Supreme Lord or a pure devotee is not an ordinary incident. When such things happen, they should be understood to be caused by previous pious activities as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Yesham Tvantagatam Papam Jananam Punyakarmanam Vedandamo Nirukta Bhajante Mam Dadaprataha. So this is a very important. So when something uncommon happens, we should know it is Sukriti. Incurred by Ajnat Sukriti or pious activities beyond one's knowledge. And then it says, any person upon whom the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas are pleased can achieve anything which is very rare to obtain in this world as well as after death. Not only that, but one also receives the favor of the auspicious Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, who accompany the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. And then Prabhupada is quoting, and then next verse we discussed yesterday. Prithu Maharaj continued, although you are traveling in all planetary systems, people cannot know you just as they cannot know the super. Even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva cannot understand the super soul. So to understand an exalted person, we should also have some qualities within us. Otherwise, not possible. Muhyanti yat surya. Great demigods like Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Chandra are sometimes bewildered trying to understand personality of God. So that's why they also try to test Krishna when he appears. Brahma is testing, Shiva is testing, Indra is also testing. They are bewildered by Krishna himself coming. What to speak of Paramatma in the heart who is not seen. And directly seen also they are bewildered. Even though he is performing extraordinary activities, still they are bewildered. And that means we need a certain qualification to appreciate something. If I have to appreciate, a Mona Lisa painting, then if a 2-year-old, 3-year-old child cannot appreciate, a 10-year-old boy also cannot appreciate so much. But if a person is very mature and he understands what is, he has some level of maturity, then only he will be able to appreciate that painting, right? Similarly, anything also, we need to know if somebody comes and gives a very technical mathematical formula and he solves it, and he wanted to tell such a great thing I have done. We may not be able to appreciate only. We say, very good, very good. But another mathematician who knows what is maths and he knows what a tough problem is, he'll be able to appreciate it. That means for that appreciation, we need to have some qualification. Like say outside people, sometimes we introduce some Maharaj, oh very great Maharaj. Now what we have to tell about him so that he will be impressed. We try to look. For us, just to say, no, he is a Maharaj, and no, that itself is a big achievement, no, because he has controlled his senses and mind. So we appreciate that. Oh, he is a very exalted Maharaj. But for outside people, what we tell? Oh, he has many followers, and he has written many books, and he is famous here, there. So such words are needed for them to appreciate. You have to give some external things to make them appreciate. So here also, although you are traveling in all planetary systems, people cannot know you just as they cannot know. So they may be there, but they will not be appreciated. They cannot understand. Even if 4 Kumaras come here, government of India will not receive them and do all the, what do you say, will not do the setup and everything for this. They will not be getting honorary welcome and other things, even though such great personalities. Because they cannot appreciate only. That's why they don't come. If a president of America comes to India, he will have a great honorary welcome and all. But 4 Kumaras will not have. Nobody even considers them. It is very difficult. And then they say that a person who is not very rich and is attached to family life becomes highly glorified when saintly persons are present in his home. The master and servant who are engaged in offering the exalted visitors water, the sitting place and the paraphernalia for reception are glorified, and the home itself is also glorified. So Prabhupada is writing, materially if a man is not very rich, he is not glorious. And spiritually if a man is too attached to family, he is also not glorious. But saintly persons are quite ready to visit the poor house of a poor man or a man who is attached to material family life. When this happens, the owner of the house and his servants are glorified because they offer water for washing his feet of a washing the feet of a saintly person, sitting place and other things to receive him. The conclusion is that if a saintly person goes to the house of an unimportant man, such a person becomes glorious by his blessings. So this is the advantage. So an unimportant man, such a person becomes glorious by his blessings. It is therefore the Vedic system that a householder invite a saintly person in his home to receive his blessings. This system is still current in India, and therefore saintly persons, wherever they go, are hosted by the householders who in turn get an opportunity to receive transcendental knowledge. It is the duty of sannyasi therefore to travel everywhere just to favor the householders who are generally ignorant of values of life. So this is the situation. So sannyasi's duty is to travel everywhere just to favor the householders who are generally ignorant of the values. It may be argued that all householders are not very rich and that one cannot receive great saintly persons or preachers because they are always accompanied by their disciples. If the householder is to receive saintly persons, he has to receive his entourage also. It is said in the Shastras, Duras Muni was always accompanied by 60,000 disciples, and that if there were a little discrepancy in their reception, he would be very angry and would sometimes curse the host. The fact is that every householder, regardless of his position or economic condition, can at least receive saintly guests with great devotion and offer him drinking water. But drinking water is available everywhere. In India, the custom is that even an ordinary person is offered a glass of water if he suddenly visits and one cannot offer him foodstuffs. If there is no water, then one can offer a sitting place, even if it is on straw mats. And if one has no straw mats, he can immediately clean the ground and ask the guests to sit there. Supposing that the householder cannot do that, then with folded hands, he can simply receive the guest saying welcome. And if he cannot do that, then he should feel very sorry for his poor condition and shed tears and simply offer obeisances with his whole family, wife, and children. In this way, he can satisfy any guest, even if the guest is a saintly person or a king. So, this is the etiquette Prabhupada is trying to teach us. On the contrary, even though full of all opulences and material prosperity, any householder's house where the devotees of Lord are never allowed to come in, where there is no water for washing their feet, is to be considered a tree in which all venomous serpents live. So this is how it is compared. So the serpents are going to trouble the householder only because he is getting attached to it and is getting entangled. So ultimately he gets a very bad destination. So this is the problem. So the point here is that Prithu Maharaj is previously gave instructions to his subjects how to serve Brahmanas, and now he is showing his personal examples. And here also he is giving very valuable instructions. That if a householder is not receiving saintly person, the house is like considered a tree in which all venomous serpents live. Such a dangerous place to live, right? All venomous. Why it is venomous? Because they are going to trouble each other. If we have saintly persons visiting and giving instructions, because I sometimes go to some rich people's house, so there, one place I went where there is a fight between all the family members, and they were very upset. So they invited for some Bhagavatam installation and other things. So they were having trouble with each other's dealings and other things. And of course now we went and spoke something. It may help to little bit, but regularly they should have some saintly persons and coming and giving guidance. Otherwise they will trouble each other out of envy, and that is actually what is happening there. They're troubling each other because it's a venomous serpent, so staying the envy is there. But when saintly person comes, na, then we start giving them, and that helps us to reduce our envy, reduce our ego, pride, and we start understanding there is something else in life. There is some higher values in life which we have to live. So that will be understood very clearly, and that helps us to progress. If we are not associating with saintly people, of course now you can invite online also. Like we have like what you can do, you can play the lectures, like Makan Pro. He plays the Bhagavatam lectures loudly on the TV, so that children, wife, everybody listens. So in that way also you are inviting saintly persons to the house, so that the people in the house are listening properly, and they'll not get carried away by some silly things of this world and start fighting. And we'll see what Prabhupada says on this. He says in this verse the word Padiya indicates devotees of Vishnu or Vaishnavas. As far as Brahmanas are concerned, in the previous verse, the mode of reception have been already described. Now in this verse, special stress is given to Vaishnavas. Generally, the sannyasis or those in the renounced order of life take trouble to enlighten the householders. There are Ekadanta sannyasis and Dvanda sannyasis. So, Ekadanta sannyasis can be situated on the platform of pure Brahman. You see, because they are aware of the spirit and indifferent from body, but they are mainly impersonal. And now here Prabhupada is talking about. It is mentioned here that any house which does not receive Vaishnava in the manner already explained in the previous verse is considered the residential quarters of venomous serpents. It is said that around the sandalwood tree, there are very valuable, which is a very valuable tree, there is a venomous serpent. Sandalwood is very cold, and venomous serpents, because of its poisonous teeth, are always very warm, and they take shelter of the sandalwood tree to become cooler. Similarly, there are many rich men who keep watchdogs or doormen and put up signs that say, "Do not enter, trespassers not allowed, beware of dog," etc. Sometimes in Western countries, a trespasser is shot, and there is no crime in such shooting. This is the position of demonic householders. Such houses are considered to be residential quarters of venomous snakes. The members of such families are no better than snakes, because snakes are very envious. You see, Prabhupada is telling the same. They are envious. And when that envy is directed to the saintly persons, their poison becomes more dangerous. Chanakya Pandit says that there are two envious living entities, snake and envious man. Envious man is more dangerous than snake, because snake can be subdued by mantra. We are also having envy. We should also chant Hare Krishna. That's actually what Krishna is showing with Kaliya Leela. He's showing that by dancing on Kaliya, Krishna was able to make Kaliya free from envy. Similarly, by dancing on our tongue, Krishna in the form of holy name, he can also make us free from envy. Maharaj Prithu offered his welcome to the four Kumaras, addressing them as the best of the Brahmanas. He welcomed them, saying, "From the beginning of your birth, you strictly observe the vow of celibacy, and although you are experienced in the path of liberation, you are keeping yourself just like small children." So they don't want any hormonal change in the body. Four Kumaras, they want to just remain like four Kumaras only all the time. Because if you grow the body, there will be hormonal changes, and then we'll have problems. The specific importance of Kumaras is that they were brahmacharis living the life of celibacy from birth. They kept themselves as small children above 4 or 5 years because by growing into youth, one's senses sometimes become disturbed and celibacy becomes difficult. Kumaras therefore purposefully remain children because in a child's life the senses are never disturbed by sex. This is significance of life of Kumaras, and as such, Maharaj Prithu addressed them as the best of the Brahmanas. Not only were the Kumaras born of the best of the Brahmanas, but they are addressed here as Vijashreshth on account of their being Vaishnavas also. As we have already explained, that they are Sampradaya Acharyas. So this is Nimbarka Sampradaya. Maharaj Prithu especially appreciated the position of Kumaras because they are maintaining brahmacharya vow. Maharaj Prithu, however, expressed his great appreciation of Vaishnavism by addressing Kumaras as Vaishnava Sreshtha. In other words, everyone should be offered respect to a Vaishnava without considering his source of birth. Vaishnava Jati Buddhi. No one should consider a Vaishnava in terms of birth. And the next sloka says, Kachinna Kushalam Natha Indriyartha Vidinam Yasyānāvāpi etasmin patitānām swakarmabhi. Prithu Maharaj inquired from the sages about persons entangled in this dangerous material existence because of their previous actions. Could such persons, whose only aim is sense gratification, be blessed with any good fortune? This is an important question. He's asking sages about the persons entangled in this dangerous material existence because of their pious actions. So entanglement is also because of pious actions, not only just impious, both. Could such persons whose aim is sense gratification is bewildered with any good fortune? So anything is a problem only in this material world. Thesis, antithesis, but only thing is synthesis. Maharaj Prithu did not ask Kumaras about their good fortune. So the Kumaras are always auspicious by dint of their life in celibacy. Since they are always engaged in the path of liberation, a path of spiritual advancement, are always fortunate. The question was asked by Prithu Maharaj for his own sake. So he is not asking about Kumaras, he is asking about himself only. Since he was in the position of a Grahastha and in charge of the royal authorities, kings are not only Grahasthas who are generally absorbed in sense gratification, but are sometimes employed to kill animals in hunting because they have to practice the killing art. Otherwise, it is very difficult for them to fight their enemies. Such things are not auspicious. So, a very nice point Prabhupada says. For political reasons, sometimes they have to take up to the sinful activities. Kshatriyas do not refrain from gambling. One vivid example is Pandavas. So, this is therefore Prithu Maharaj taking consideration of all these facts, inquired whether there is any auspicious path. Prabhupada is saying, Grahastha life is inauspicious because Grahasthas means consciousness for sense gratification. And as soon as there is sense gratification, one's position is always full of danger. This is the point. So when we are enjoying, there is a payment also. And that is, okay, we say, I'll enjoy and I'll pay. but we still remain the taste for that enjoyment. So we want to repeat that enjoyment. And then we get attached to the enjoyment also. So this material world is said to be padam padam yat vibhutam na, dangers in every step. Everyone in the material world is struggling hard for sense gratification, clearing all these, what to say, points. Maharaj Prithu inquired from four Kumaras about the fallen conditioned soul who are rotting in the material world. So very important question. Now he says, Bhavatastu kushalam pashna atma rameshu neshyate kushala yatra na santi mriti vartayah. Prithu Maharaj continued, my dear sirs, there is no need to ask about your good and bad fortune because you are always absorbed in spiritual bliss. The material concoction of the auspicious and inauspicious does not exist in you. So Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that Daite Badra Badram Jana Saba Mano Dharma Yei Bala Yei Manda Yei Sabha Brahma. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling, in the material world the auspicious inauspicious are simply mental concoctions because such things exist only due to association with the and auspiciousness and inauspiciousness are simply mental concoctions because such things exist only in the association with the material world. In the spiritual world, there is no good bad, there is no duality. That's why it is spiritual world. And we cannot say this is beautiful, this is ugly. Everything is beautiful only there. It's not ugly, beautiful, it is transcendental. So this is called illusion or Atmamaya. We think ourselves created by material nature exactly as we think ourselves experiencing so many things in dream. The spirit soul, however, is always transcendental. There is no question of becoming materially covered. This covering is simply sometimes like a hallucination or a dream. Sangha sanjayate kama dhyayato vishayan pumsah. Writing, when we forget our real constitutional position, we wish to enjoy the material resources, our material desires manifest and we associate with varieties of material enjoyment. As soon as the concoction of material enjoyment are there, because of our association, we create a sort of lust or eagerness to enjoy. And when the false enjoyment does not actually make us happy, we create another illusion knowing known as anger, and by the manifestation of anger, the illusion breaks. Another problem is that we are so much get carried away. So it's a very difficult situation. Tadaham kritavarshambha suhurdovastapasvinam सम्पृच्छे भव एतस्मिन् क्षेम केना क्षेम केनाञ्जसा भवेत्. I am completely assured that personalities like you are only friends for persons who blaze in the fire of material existence. I therefore ask you how in this material world we can very soon achieve the ultimate goal of life. So he's just asking, okay, they are all disturbed here. It's such a dangerous place. Tell us what is the fastest means to ultimate goal of achieve the ultimate goal. When saintly persons goes from door to see those who are too material attached, it is to be understood that they do not ask anything for them personal benefit. It is a fact that saintly persons go to materialism just to give real information and their auspiciousness. Maharaj Prithu was assured of the fact, therefore, instead of wasting time by asking Kumaras about their welfare, he preferred to inquire from them whether he could soon be relieved from the dangerous position of material existence. So, they are well qualified to guide him in this direction. It was not, however, a question personally by Prithu Maharaj. It was raised to teach the common man that whenever one meets a great saintly person, one should immediately surrender unto him and inquire about relief from material pains of existence. So, samsara vishanale divanishi hiya jale judaite na kalnupai. We are always suffering from the material pangs and our hearts are burning. But we cannot find any way out. The materialistic persons can also be called a tapasvi, which means someone who is always suffering from material pains. One can get rid of all these material pains only when he takes shelter of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. व्यक्तिम् आत्मावताम् आत्मा भगवान् आत्मभावनः स्वानाम् अनुग्रह्याये ग्रहाये मां सिद्धरूपा charatyajah. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is always anxious to elevate the living entities who are his part and parcels, and for their special benefit, the Lord travels all over the world in the form of self-realized persons like you. So Lord is anxious to deliver, and here he is held to his part and parcels, and that's why the saintly persons are traveling to assist the Lord. So there are different kinds of transcendental, and namely Jnanis or impersonal mystic yogis. Of course, all the devotees of the Supreme Personality of God. To Kumaras, however, both yogis and Jnanis and finally Bhaktas later on, in the beginning they were impersonalists, but later they developed devotional activities. Therefore, they are the best of the transcendental. The devotees are representatives of Supreme Lord, and to elevate the conditioned souls of their original consciousness, they travel all over the universe to enlighten the conditioned souls about Krishna consciousness. The best devotees are Atma, or those who are fully realized the supreme soul, the supreme personality of God, as Paramatma is sitting within everyone's heart, trying to elevate themselves to the platform of Krishna consciousness. Therefore, he is called Atmaram. We'll just take the next verse. Here, Atmaram is significant. There are two kinds of devotees, namely Kanishtadikari, Madhyamadikari, and Uttamadikari. Neophyte, the preacher, and the Mahabhagavata are highly advanced because of becomes a devotee. Indeed, not only is he convinced himself, but he can convince others on the strength of Vedic evidence. The advanced devotees can also see all other living entities as part and parcel of Supreme Lord without discrimination. So the Kumaras, however, were Mahabhagavatas because they scrutinizingly study the absolute truth, they become devotees. In other words, they were in full knowledge of Vedic conclusions. In Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed with the Lord that there are many devotees, but a devotee who is fully conversant in Vedic conclusion is very dear to him. Therefore, the devotees are actually representatives of Supreme Lord. So, Prabhupada is huge purport is writing. Sakshadharitvena samasta shastra. So, they are non-different from the Lord. According to Vaishnava philosophy, a devotee is as good as Narayana but not becoming Narayana. But by becoming the most confidential servant of Narayana, such great personalities are act as spiritual masters for the benefit of people in general. So till now, Prithu Maharaj, he welcomed them, he glorified them, and then Maitreya Muni says, so here we have to see that first we receive somebody, we should tell them what we understand about them. So that will help them also to be comfortable. So this is an etiquette. Even when you are offering prayers to the Lord, basically what we are trying to tell that we are understanding the Lord. So great sages, Maitreya continued, Maitreya Vacha, Podastu Suktam Akarnya Saram Sushtu Mitam Madhu Samyamana Iva Pritya Kumara Pratyuvachaha. The great sage Maitreya continued. The saint Sanat Kumar, the best of the celibates, after hearing the speech of Prithu Maharaj, which was meaningful, appropriate, full of precious words, and very sweet heart, smiled with full satisfaction and began to speak as follows. So only one is speaking, but they are all together. Putmara's talk before the Kumaras are very laudable because of so many qualifications. Speech should be composed by selected words. This is very important. Very sweet to hear and appreciate to the appropriate to the situations. The three conditions is she should be composed of selected words, sweet to hear, appropriate to the situation. Such speech is called meaningful. All these good qualities are present in Prithu Maharaj. And speech because he is a perfect devotee. It is said, Yashasti Bhakti Bhagavati Agichana Sarvair Gunais Satra. For a devotee, all the qualities of demigods are manifested. Suvacha Sadhu Prishtam Maharaja Sarvabhuta Hitatmana Bhavati Vidusha Chapi Sadhunam Vritati Idrishi. The Sanat Kumara said, my dear Prithu, I am very I'm very nicely questioned by you. Such questions are beneficial for all living entities, especially because they are raised by you who are always thinking of the good of others. Although you know everything, you ask such questions because that is the behavior of saintly person. Such intelligence is befitting your person. And Prabhupada writes, Maharaj Prithu was well conversant in transcendental science, yet he presented himself before the Kumaras as one ignorant of it. The idea is that even if a person is very exalted and know everything, before his superiors, he should present questions. For instance, although Arjuna knew all the transcendental science, he questioned Krishna as if he did not know. Similarly, Prithu Maharaj know everything, but the but he presented himself before Kumaras as if he did not know anything. So the idea is that questions by exalted persons uh, put before the Supreme Lord or its devotees are meant for the benefit of people in general people. Therefore, sometimes great personalities put themselves in that position and inquire from the higher authorities because they are always thinking of the benefit of others. Sangam संगमः खलु साधूनाम् उभयेषां च सम्मतः यत्सम्भाषण सम्प्रश्नः सर्वेषां वितनोति सम्. When there is a congregation of devotees, their discussion, questions and answers becomes conclusive to both the speaker and audience. Thus, such a meeting is beneficial for everyone's real life. Okay, we will continue tomorrow. Thank you all very much. Tantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.